Salakia, part two. All right, but it says I was going into the KJV to prove that it was saying there was strange apparitions. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 17, verse 3. It says, "For while they supposed to lie hid in their secret sins, they were scattered under a dark veil of forgetfulness, being horribly astonished and troubled with strange apparitions." You know, so the Lord plagued their mind, pretty much with demons, man. You see, Lord plagued their mind with demons. And you don't think that's what's going on right now, man? All these people who forgot about the Lord, even 2/3 of our people, man. Like I'm over here in Gary right now, man. And they in darkness, man. You see what I'm saying? You got some people's power that came on, but the majority of it is darkness, and they're promising 18-month, a power outage, man. Okay, I'm gonna read this heading right here on this news article. It says, this is U.S. News. It says, shockingly, vulnerable U.S. power grid could result in 18-month nationwide blackout, expert warns, man. You see? Which really they just preparing you, and they trying to, link Iran, with the power grid blackout, man. Which really is just them. We not ignorant of Satan's devices, and it's not too far-fetched that these damn devils, destroy their own people, because they're not a wise people, Absolutely. Oh, it's like a mosquito, But this is what's coming, man. It says the U.S. is in heightened risk of catastrophic blackout. It says that could last up to 18 months due to aging power grid infrastructure that takes agonizingly long to update and potentially vulnerable to a precision weapon strikes. See, they are already forming your mind, and preparing your mind into thinking that this is going to be of the boogeyman. This time the boogeyman is Iran and Russia, But really, he the biggest boogeyman, Hey, but the Lord gonna plague your mind with that, man. He want to keep you in a constant state of fear, okay? State of perplexity, man. You see? Because of your rebelliousness, your rebelliousness, man. All right? And your ability not to return back to your maker, man. All right? It says, it says, but now I'm in back in Wisdom of Solomon 3, Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 3. It says, they that their sins had secret and unnoticed, shielded from view by a dark curtain of forgetfulness, but now they were horribly afraid, confused, and terrified with ghostly forms, man, them strange apparitions, man. It says, not even the dark corners where they lay could protect them from fear. Nah, man. And that's one of the plagues that the Lord got, for America, man. You see? Hey, these rich and wealthy, Egyptians or Americans, same thing. They're living in these, they think those generators and all that shit. Motherfuckers is that now they trusting in generators like never before, You know what I'm saying? But you don't know that the Lord, when the Lord was when the Lord had us in Egypt, all right, he had us in light while the Egyptians suffered darkness, man. This is the power that we serve, man. Okay? This is the power that we serve, man. Ain't no generator and no type of your money, your monetary ability to have, money, your gold and your silver is not going to profit you in these days, man. Okay? It says, not even the dark corners where they lay could protect them from fear. It says they were surrounded by horrible noises. Imagine that in the dark, though, you know? In the dark, hey, the Lord can make, especially when, because these Americans is used to, a little light at night, you know what I'm saying? A little noises from the central air unit, from the AC unit or whatever. Imagine that, nothing but just pitch black and different noises that if you're not an outside person, you don't know, those certain noises, man. You're not used to those certain noises, man. But the Lord is going to multiply and intensify those noises, man. Those grim noises, as it said. Your fears, man. It says, they were surrounded by horrible noises. Grim ghosts with gloomy faces appeared before their eyes. Look at that. Imagine that. The Lord just make a face, one of them scary movie face, you know what I'm saying? One of them, what you call that, Saw faces appear right in front of you in the dark. You see? It says, no fire had power to give them light. And no matter if you try to kindle a fire, you see? In those days, men's wits are going to withdraw themselves, man. Motherfuckers going to go crazy. You see? Through the terror of the Lord. The Lord is a terrible power. They called him Al-Shaddai for a reason, man. When you go into the word Al-Shaddai in the Hebrew, it goes into a demon-like presence or a demon-like power. You see? But the Lord is good all the time. Now, you don't know the balance of the Lord. You don't know the Lord if you think the Lord is good all the time. You think the Lord is just going to accept you as you are. Nah. It says, no fire had power to give them light, and the brilliant stars could do nothing to relieve that deathly darkness. See, right now you got, well, the way we at right now, we don't get too many stars, but you got some stars in the light, even the moon, at nighttime. You know what I'm saying? Even that ain't gonna help you, man. The Lord promised to darken all that, man. Hey, the scriptures say that the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. You see? Because that is at the time of the Lord's vengeance, man. Upon the earth, starting with 2/3 of our people, man. You see? Who ignored the Lord, man. You ignored the rebuke. You ignored the correction. You bucking up against order. Hey, the Lord got a special judgment for you, man. You know what I'm saying? He got a visitation for each one of you rebellious ass people out there, man. Okay? It says, verse 6, Wisdom of Solomon 17:6, in the GNT it says, there was only a dreadful fire lit by no human hand. It says that shone on them. It says, meaning shown on the apparition, the strange apparition, the demon. It says, damn, where I'm at. There was only a dreadful fire lit by no human hand that shone on them, and in their terror they believed that the real world was even worse than the things they imagined. Peep that. It says the illusions produced by their magic tricks were put to shame. And that's exactly what happened, man. I believe the first miracle in the when the Lord was delivering us out of Egypt, when he was in front of Pharaoh, he had Aaron drop that rod. All right. And that rod turned into, those snakes. Okay. No matter what these damn devils try to do, what he say in Isaiah 47, stand now in the multitude of your enchantments. None of that shit is going to save you. Your enchantments, your cantations, I believe I'm saying the right word. Your wicked ass concoctions ain't going to be able to save you in that day. Real talk. None of your magic tricks, man. It says, were put to shame. It says, and all the wisdom they had boasted of came to nothing. It says they had claimed they could drive away all the fears and illness of sick minds, and they try to do that with what? That artificial intelligence. Ultimately it's going to be through that MOTB, man, that RFID chip. That's the solution that they're going to claim, that they can change all that. If you just take this chip, then all your worst fears is going to go away. That's what they're going to present to you, man. But how they going to present that to you when they getting plagued in their minds themselves? They can't even control the thoughts that coming into their mind. You see? Look, imagine that. It says they had claimed they could drive away all the fears and illness of sick minds, but now they themselves were sick with silly, groundless fear. You see that? They getting plagued themselves. And you don't think these elites is getting plagued, man? That's why they moving with rapid speed now, man, because they know they got a short time, and the Lord is giving them visions of their demise, of their end. And this is something that they did not consider when they were setting up their enterprise, man. All right? They didn't consider this. And this is why ultimately they're going to try to ride in the hawks, in the dens, in the rocks of the earth, which is the mountains, and try to run for cover, man, when them nukes hit. When Yahweh Shai come, they're going to try to hide from the land, man. They didn't consider that latter end. But they getting visions of that right now, man, and plaguing them. And out of all the visions Pharaoh had and he seen that came from Aaron and Moses, guess what? The Lord hardened his heart to be more wicked, man. You see? And that's what the Lord is doing right now to this day, man. He's raising up Pharaoh, through these elites. Okay, DJ Trump, proud as hell, of course. He raising them up, man, just to throw them down. It says, verse 9, even though nothing dangerous had actually happened, they were terrified by hissing snakes and animals advancing on them. Imagine that. You see that in a horror movie. It says, and so they died shaken with fear. The scriptures say men's hearts shall fail them, man. Meaning they going to have a heart attack right on the spot. A heart attack right on the spot, man. See, this is the power that we serve, man. The Lord ain't got to use no artificial intelligence or no damn rifle, to put you to death. He got it. It was a show. I think it was a saying or a show. It was 6 million ways to die, man. Choose one. The Lord got that ability, man. But why? Because of the Lord belong the issues of death. Let me see if I can pull that up right quick. Of the Lord belong the issues of death. See if I can get in my other phone. Bear with me right quick. The Lord will put it in your mind, to where, he'll make you having heart attack, man. And guess what? Like you said, man, they was having visions of snakes and, probably scorpions. Probably had Lord putting visions of, oh man, I got a quick testimony. My old foreman, so-called white man, he said he had a dream of me one day. He had a dream of me one day when I used to work, for their company. And he said he had a dream that I was a baby, a little boy, a little baby. But I had this face on me. It was like a demon face, and I was chasing him. And I was pretty much plaguing him and chasing him down and unaliving, whoever he was around, I ain't think none of it at the time, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, but the Lord will have it, especially, you fucking Edomites, You know, and 2/3 of our people who treated the men of the Lord wrong, man. You know, hey, just like Pilate's wife. You know, the Lord was giving Pilate a wife's dream about Yahweh Shai. You know, that's why she came to him like, hey, nah, don't do nothing to that man. You know, do no wrong to this man. You see? See, the Lord got a funny way of playing in your mind. You know? Belong to issues of death. Where is that again? Yep. All right, this is Psalms chapter 68 and 20. It says, he that is our power is the power of salvation. All right. And unto the most high power, the Lord, belong the issues of death. You see that? So the Lord got the power, you know, to unalive you, you know, however he pleases, man. Okay? Salaki. I'm going to read verse 9 again. Wisdom of Solomon 17 and 9. It says, even though nothing dangerous had actually happened, they were terrified by hissing snakes and animals advancing on them. And so they died shaking with fear, afraid even to open their eyes, yet unable to keep them shut. You see that? Check that out. It said, wickedness is cowardly in itself and stands self-condemned. Someone with a guilty conscience will always imagine things to be worse than they really are. And that's in a nutshell, you know, because these damn devils, you know, got a guilty conscience, all right, on what they done to the Lord's people, man. They knew that they was doing what they doing was fucked up. But they benefited off of us being on the bottom. They benefited, you know, from us, you know, having the shit jobs. You know, they benefited from us being on the bottom. You know, hey, 2/3 of our people, you women benefit with being on the top. When this damn devil gave you the seat, you know, to usurp authority of your men and give you the police to govern your house and the government to govern your house. Okay, instead of your men that the Lord designed for it to have order on earth. You see? Hey, that's going to be the day where the Lord recompense judgment. Okay? Back on all the ungodly, man. Peep that, man. Because somebody with a guilty conscience, that's always going to plague them, man. That's why it's good, you know, to stay in the spirit, man. You know, as much as you can. You know, as much as you can, stay in the spirit, man. And let the Lord plague their mind, man. You know? It says, someone with a guilty conscience will always imagine things to be worse than they really are. Fear is nothing but the failure to use help that reason gives, man. And the Lord is trying to reason with his people, man. Read Isaiah, Isaiah chapter 1, you know, where it said, come, let us reason, you know, together. The Lord wants to reason with you, man. The Lord wants to correct you and showing you where you're going off. But if you're not hearkening and listening to the Lord's correction, then, hey, you fucked. You fucked. You see? It says, when you lack confidence to rely on reason, you give in to the fears caused by ignorance. You see? When you lack the confidence to rely on reason, and reason really just goes into your logic. Logic really just goes into the order or the spiritual order that the Lord, you know, put on earth in order for us to govern ourselves, you know. You find that within the scriptures, you know. But people is not going to seek the scriptures, man, for wisdom, you know. Instead, they gonna turn to Buddha. You know, they gonna turn to Christianity. You know, they gonna turn to Egyptology, Scientology. Pretty much they turn into Satan and the God of this world, Esau Edom. You know, verse 14, it says, all night long those people slept the same restless sleep. The Lord had them motherfuckers, you know, not even sleeping, man, at all. You know, just getting played. Okay? Even though the night held no power over them, since it came from the powerless depths of the world